What is up, everyone? My name is Janine. I've tested and reviewed over 200 AI tools, and if you've been hearing about OpenAI Codex and wondering whether it's actually worth the hype or just another overpromised AI tool, this video is for you. I spent time testing it, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through a full 5-step demo, the same one that I ran, where Codex built a complete product landing page and marketing plan from a single prompt. And I'll be honest about what it nailed and where it fell short. OpenAI Codex is not just an autocomplete tool. Codex can read your entire project, build full features from plain English, run its own tests, create GitHub pull requests, and work on multiple tasks at the same time, each in its own isolated environment. Okay, so to get started, head to chatgpt.com/codex and hit download. Sign in with your ChatGPT account. Once it's downloaded, take a quick look at the interface. It looks familiar, similar to ChatGPT, but there are a few important controls in the chat box. So over here, there are 3 options. There's default permissions, auto review, and full access. So default mode is where Codex works in a sandbox with limited access to your system. Auto review is where it'll pause and ask before doing anything sensitive. This is the one that I recommend. And then the last one is full access, where Codex has full control of your computer. On the right side, you pick your reasoning level. So there is low, medium, high, and extra high. And then you can also choose your model. So there's 5.5, that's the latest ChatGPT model, and then there's 5.4 mini. I find that on the free account, medium is the sweet spot. It's enough power to build a real project without burning through your usage limits. And then, of course, for the model, I just kept it on the latest 5.5. Before you get too excited and start sending prompts, you're going to want to make a project folder just to keep things organized. So next to projects is a little plus button. So click that, start from scratch, give it a name. I'm going to name it landing page test 2. Save, and it's going to create a new folder for you. And you can see that it's selected down here. I'm going to paste my prompt in the empty field. This is the prompt that I have. It's a little bit long, but it's good to be specific. And then click on this plus button, and you'll see a couple of options. You also want to make sure that plan mode is turned on. Plan mode is pretty critical. It forces Codex to map out exactly what it's going to do and get your sign off before touching anything. Okay, now that everything is in place, I'm going to hit send. Instead of just diving straight into building, Codex paused. So for the positioning, it gave me 3 options: daily ritual, tech precision, giftable premium. I'm just going to go ahead with what it recommends, the daily ritual. And then it's asking another question. So what should the main conversion action be? Join waitlist, which is what it recommends. Once again, I'm just going to go ahead with what it recommends, join waitlist. And then the last question is the name it should use for the smart mug. So first one it came up with is Emberly Mug. Once again, going with the recommended option. So once I answered all of its questions, Codex laid out a full plan: summary, key changes, UX approach, testing strategy, assumptions, and asked for my approval. Everything looked good to me, so I hit submit. About half an hour later, here's what Codex delivered: desktop and mobile preview images. So you can just click on those and get an idea of what it designed. And the coolest part is if I click on the HTML file, it opens a split screen and there's a live preview on the right with the chat still existing on the left. So you can see an actual rendered landing page right here with no browser tab switching needed. And just looking at the design itself, it has a really clean and modern design with clear call to actions, and the layout is responsive. And considering that the prompt only took me 2 minutes to write, it's a pretty solid result. But Codex wasn't done yet. True to the original prompt, Codex didn't just build the page and call it a day. It opened its own work in the browser sandbox, evaluated it, and flagged 3 specific UX problems. So for me to implement these improvements, I literally just type in implement all 3 improvements and hit send. I actually ran out of credits when implementing the improvements, which is just a limitation to be aware of on the free plan. But Codex implemented some of them, one of them being the close icon appearing when the mobile menu is open. But from empty project to professional landing page with a full marketing copy outline and UX improvements, the total time was under 30 minutes. Okay, so here are the things that Codex is good at. The first thing is parallel task execution, so multiple jobs running at the same time, each in its own isolated environment. Secondly, there's a strong automated testing support that helps catch mistakes. And lastly, building full features from plain English and not making you feel like you need some degree to get something done. And then there's the things that Codex is not so good at. So if you give it a really long, detailed instruction, it will sometimes just skip part of it. Not maliciously, it's not trying to be difficult. It just gets excited and moves on, which is kind of annoying. Also, full applications still need human review before they go anywhere. And if you're going to use this regularly for actual work, you're probably going to want the Pro plan to get usage limits that don't make you feel like you have to ration your prompts. But who is Codex actually for? It's great for developers who want to hand off a feature and come back to review the results. It's great for founders building MVPs who don't have the time to write every line themselves. It's also great for non-technical people who want to see a working prototype before they hire someone to build the real thing. And lastly, it's for anyone who's ever thought, I wish I could just describe what I want and have it exist, which is everyone. If you want to try it, I've linked Codex in the description. You can start for free, no credit card, and the free tier is actually enough to run a project like the one that I just walked through. But if you end up doing more serious work with it, whether that's team stuff, client stuff, anything where you're actually shipping things, that's when the pro plan starts to make sense. Really quick, because I know someone is going to ask, what about the other ones? So there's Claude Code that runs directly in your terminal. It feels more like a coding partner that's permanently living in your workspace. Then there's Cursor. It's built on VS Code. The AI is just baked into the editor. I've tested it before by giving it a single prompt to build a habit tracker. It generated 3 core files in seconds, and I could preview it immediately in the browser. It's very fast, very smooth, and great if you basically live inside VS Code. And lastly, there's Windsurf. It's more visual and hands-on. You build stuff and see it live as you go. I've also used that one and I asked it to build a website. It generated the code, ran it, showed me a preview, and it was done. It's really satisfying if you like seeing the thing update in real time. And that's the video. If you liked it, subscribe. It would help me. And if you didn't like it, that's also a valid reaction and I respect it. Leave a comment if you have a question about Codex or if you want me to do a proper head-to-head comparison between any of these tools. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.